It's hot. It's hot. It's almost too hot for the news, but we're going to do it anyway because Trump has started to say the quiet part out loud again. All right, everybody, welcome to the headlines. I'm Julianna Forlano. Happy Tuesday. I hope you have a great day. It's hot. It's hot and smoky. The wildfire smoke has come back down over the middle of our country and the East Coast, the West, and the Southwest, and Florida is hot. Okay, that's all you have to say. I've been watching the weather. I've been watching the reporting on the weather, and I noticed a funny little thing. I asked Echo, what's the weather? And Echo said there is a chance of aerial flooding. Aerial flooding. Have we heard of aerial flooding? They have coined a new phrase to warn us about the chance that a flood might not just rise up from the bottom like with swollen rivers, etc., and it might not just come up from the sea like during hurricanes and other events like that. It might just flood you from the sky. In Long Island this last week, 6 inches of rain fell in 45 minutes. That is insane. That is the definition of climate chaos. And now the Weather Channel and our meteorologists have coined a new phrase so that we can, I don't know, all be careful in the deluge. Aerial flooding. They didn't tell us they were coining a new phrase. They just started using a phrase that describes a flood that comes from the sky. Give me your comments below. I'd love to hear them. In Pennsylvania, they still have not found
Look at the people.
a baby and a toddler that were washed away in a
Oh
flood.
my
This is insane,
God.
people. Absolutely insane. Is this not crazy? It is. Is this not chaos? And the fact that it's happening everywhere, including states like Vermont, where when's the last time anyone ever talked about the state of Vermont? People forget that the state of Vermont is a state unless they're talking about Bernie Sanders, and then they remember. But other than that, very little national news comes out of Vermont. In other news, Donald Trump is saying the quiet part out loud again. Hey, listen, when somebody tells you who they are, you need to believe them. Donald Trump was not hiding that he wanted to consolidate presidential authority. Donald Trump orchestrated what was supposed to be a coup on January 6th that just didn't work out. Thankfully, Donald Trump, it is reported that he is out loud talking about he and his allies are going to forge plans to increase presidential power. They basically want all the machinery of government to report to the president. This is highly, highly unusual. They want to centralize power in the Oval Office. It's not great. Let's talk about what they're doing. They want to end the norm of having the Justice Department be independent from White House political control, which is what is happening right now. They want basically to alter the balance of power by increasing his authority over every part of the government. For example, he wants to bring independent agencies like the FCC, which of course makes and enforces the rules for TV and internet companies, and the FTC, which enforces the various antitrust and other consumer rules against businesses. He wants to control those himself so that, I'm assuming, he can roll back any kind of consumer protection, roll back anything that would protect those people who would actually be voting for him and the rest of us who would not be. He intends to strip employment protections from career civil servants. He wants to make it easier to replace them if they are, I'm assuming, not they're not faithful to his agenda. And he wants to kind of get rid of folks in the intelligence agencies, the State Department, the Defense Department, anybody that is, that he considers the political class or an enemy of our country. And by our, he means himself. He himself and Don Jr.? I don't know. I did speak to a few people who support President Donald Trump about whether they have any concerns about his desire to consolidate power. And most of them said exactly the same thing. Yeah, we love Trump. We don't care about democracy. Die. And that's a direct quote. I mean, how many more ways can this guy tell us that he is going to turn turn America into like a backwards state? Look at him. He's standing in front of a backwards flag. He is telling us in every single way possible that he is going to overturn our democracy. And the funny part is, a lot of people here in the US are going to go vote using democracy to overturn democracy. It is mind numbing and mind exploding. We're going to talk about it on another show, so stay tuned. You're watching the Political Voices Network. I'm Julianna Forlano. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll bring you more, especially if you subscribe. Final story, Joe Biden's plan B to reduce over $1.6 trillion in student loan debt that is burdening our fellow Americans and dragging our economy into the crapper is already getting pushback because God forbid we don't give a handout to big businesses and big corporations, and we give a handout to, the middle class, say, or even the people struggling to stay in the middle class because they are burdened by so much debt that they can't even be as useful to society as they could be if they weren't under this yoke of debt. That's how I see it. Anyway, he's already getting tons of pushback. The new plan is called the Saving on a Valuable Education Plan. It's already getting pushback by Republicans who are hoping to somehow get it back up there to the Supreme Court, who are completely ideologically in the tank for their billionaire backers, just like every other disgraced Republican politician. And the Democrats are not that far behind in general. Some, just saying. A spokesperson for Representative Ralph Norman told Newsweek that the South Carolina Republican is going to be supporting efforts in the House to stop Biden's latest debt forgiveness plan. But the spokesman said such legislation is unlikely to get through the democratically controlled Senate or to be signed into law by the president. So, what do? We fight for this. Just remember, student loans are generally predatory. You can pay them for years and years and years, and you look at your bill, and it's still like you still owe 30 grand no matter what. So let's not have that conversation about how people should not be paid. People should not be forgiven for some of these things. And student loan forgiveness across the board would help stimulate our economy, which apparently giving money to big banks and tax cuts for the rich has not done. I'm Julianna Forlano. You're watching the Political Voices Network. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be here every day. And also, get a jump. This Friday comes the Julianna Forlano Show right here on the Political Voices Network. It is an hour-ish long podcast/show that's going to have a newscast, other segments, and guests. Yes, guests. I love guests. I hope you love too. I hope you love them too. And I do anticipate your participation in the comments section. I'll take your questions. I'll try to get your questions over to the guest, all that good stuff. So don't forget to subscribe. Hi, everybody. Julianna Forlano here for the Political Voices Network. We hope you're enjoying Political Voices and all the content we provide on the daily. Now, there are a few new programs in the wings that are going to launch just in time for election season. If you're able and would like to help us continue bringing you all this content, please help support us by clicking the join button. We're going to have some perks for members, including early video release. You get the information first. Members only chat rooms, live shows, member badges, all the good stuff, and more, all coming soon. So click that join button if you can to support us. And rest assured, we will continue to bring you all the great content you have known from the Political Voices Network and more. Thanks so much. See you soon.